So we have many questions for you. But the first question, Lokesh, is about your portfolios. So you are Minister of HRD, IT, and real-time governance. Now, what is a Minister of Real-Time Governance? Because as far as I know, there is no Minister of Real-Time Governance in any other state in the country. So what does it mean to be a Minister of Real-Time Governance? And does it have anything to do with the fact that you have sort of changed the ease of doing business mantra to speed of doing business? So tell us about it.
Thank you very much for having me here. So that's a very interesting portfolio. What we've done in Andhra is we have started collecting data sets from across different ministries and integrating it to a single data lake where decisions can be taken in a meaningful manner. So what that means is that in true spirit, we deliver on the promise of speed of doing business. And now our Chief Minister, Mr. Naidu, has taken it one step further where he said that it's ease of living, because the intersection of a citizen and government has always had a lot of friction. And the idea is how can you use technology to eliminate that friction. So what we've been able to do as an example, I'll share with you, is bring each and every government service onto a single WhatsApp number. So first we've done that. Almost 1,000 services are today available to my citizens. So whenever a citizen would WhatsApp me on, boss, I've had this problem, I said, you don't have to visit an office. Just go to that number, send a message, your issue will be resolved. You need certificates or anything. Everything is now digitized and delivered on their mobile phone. So that's one example. So that's how real-time governance is playing a lot more important role in integrating all the ministries, all the data sets to go about delivering effective governance. So invisible government, effective governance. That's our motto.
So of your three portfolios, what takes up the most of your time?
Honestly, everything takes up a lot of time, but what I'm very passionate about is education. Apart from the fact that I love kids, I truly believe that real change can happen in education. And as a nation, I believe that we don't have enough of focus on government schools, on government universities. And I believe whatever change we want to see in society should start from education. I'll give you a very simple example of it. We all talk about gender parity. When I became the minister, I asked this question to my department. I said, first grade, second grade textbooks have household chore photos. Interestingly, all the pictures have women doing that. I said, if that's what you're teaching the child, if that's the stereotyping you're doing, then what's the change you're going to bring when they're in college or when they come to work? So we did that change. We made 50-50. We said household chores, 50% men, 50% women. It might seem very trivial or simple, but please understand the power. Value-based education. You know, we have one Mr. Chaganti Koteshwara Garu, who's known, and individually he's done a lot of sessions talking to citizens, bringing in a value-based system. So with his help, we got books written, books done. And we are getting him to go to all schools and universities and talk about value-based education. And he said a very interesting statement when I was in one of his sessions. He said, don't do anything in your life that you can't tell your mother. Just use this simple thumb rule. You're a successful citizen. Very simple but very powerful. So these are little things that we are actually doing in the education system, and of course a lot more, but I believe real change can happen in Bharat if we fix our education system, and that's been my passionate portfolio. So I jokingly say I have Bharat portfolio and I have India portfolio. My Bharat portfolio is education, my India portfolio is IT, electronics and attracting investments.
So since you talked of education, yesterday was the NEET retest. Now this was, an issue that touched not just students, but entire families. It's an issue that doesn't just touch, the preparation that children make for one exam, but it also impinges on their entire future, their idea of the future. Whether they look at the future with anxiety or they look at the future with trust. I spent the last few days traveling in UP on the ground, and many students said to me that, the image of the Air Force transporting examination papers was a double-edged one. On the one hand, it could be reassuring, but on the other hand, it's an indictment of a system which needs the Air Force to transport exam papers. So when this NEET this leak happened and then there was a retest. You are part of the governing coalition. You are an education minister. You feel passionately about it. Did you speak to the education minister at the center? Did you give suggestions? What are your takeaways from this entire episode?
Should further reforms happen in testing? Absolutely. No second thoughts. I think all of us accept that. And as a state, we have our own EPSETs and various other set exams that we do. Andhra has moved to completely computer-based testing. And I want to go further saying that I believe that exams shouldn't happen only once a year. When our children are aspiring for higher education, going to different institutions, one bad day could destroy their entire career in a year. So in my department, I only tell one thing to my secretary, my commissioners and all. I keep telling them that think about it from your own child's perspective. Look at education from that lens. See, we have this way of looking at it as, okay, I'm a minister or I'm a commissioner, I'm a secretary, I'm a teacher. I said, no. Think about it from your child's perspective. I have an 11-year-old boy. So whenever I would look at reforms, I would say, okay, let me put him as center of my universe. How would my decision change things for the good? I think that approach would really help us go a long way. Are reforms required in testing? Absolutely, no second thoughts about it. And this should happen across board. And, after this incident, I've been, of course, reading a lot more on the global practices. Because as a state, we also run our own sets. So it's important that we also strengthen our ecosystem further and further. And that's something that is very much required for India.
But as one education minister to another, did you speak with Minister Dharmendra Pradhan?
It was very important for me to understand what went wrong. So including the CBSE. Because if you look at the CBSE examination and the computer-based system, while from a minister's perspective, it looks really good. We have randomized it, paper has been sent out, testing could have happened. But then the results when they came in, it was a double-edged sword. So as a minister, it was very important for me to understand what went wrong. What were the corrections that are required? Because there's nothing, one thing we all have to admit is that there's nothing as a perfect system. We have to reform and improvise it as we go. So as a state and as a Telugu Desam party, we understand the importance of it. My chief minister, when I took the portfolio, is very clear. He said, children's future is dependent on it. Please ensure the systems are robust and stand the test of time and politics. And that's exactly what we have done.